There it is. All right. So, as you can see, we've gone to Dragonshire for our first map in the series. Now, I think one of the interesting things about Dragonshire is that this is a map where your solo lane basically matters a lot. Your solo laner as a player, your solo lane as a factor of your game, as well as probably your solo lane hero pick. And I generally personally think of the solo lane player and the solo lane in general as a strength of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Most commonly played hero by Kingleberry, the solo lane player from Team Rainbow Strike Go, is Chen. So we'll see if there's a target on the Chen. Members of Artemis actually going for the Rexar ban instead. Of course, Rexar is a strong hero on this map and a strong solo lane hero, so it is a focus on the solo lane, even if I don't think that actually has been a particularly common pick for Kingleberry this season. However, given that I've actually cast and played against Rainbow Strike Go in previous seasons, I do very much know that it is absolutely in Kingleberry's abilities to play the Rexar, even if it hasn't been something that he has had a focus on this season. This season, he actually only has one pick on it. Greymane's going to be banned out. That is something that I think is often played by Super Sticks on the side of Rainbow Strike Go, and sometimes Rainbow Strike Go does like to go with blow-up comps, like taunt blow-up comps, so sometimes they do Varian with that. I think sometimes they do ETC, but this time it's actually Rainbow Strike Go banning out the ETC, and they'll ban out the Mephisto. So let's also take a look at what are the most commonly played heroes for Artemis. Their most commonly played heroes are Johanna, which they've just picked up. Johanna is a hero that they've got 8 picks on and a 75% win rate on. They also like to play Anduin and Raynor, so those are their most played heroes. But they've definitely got a lot of other picks on other heroes as well. So, but at the very least, it's a pretty good pickup for, honestly, both getting what is probably a comfort pick for him, as well as probably just the best tank in the game at the moment, which I feel like more and more people are saying. Cassigan picked up by Robert, and the Malfurion picked up by Panda Supreme. Like the Malfurion, I very, very much believe in Malfurion as a healer in general. I think he's a great pick if you are able to play him. I also think he's a very difficult hero to play ever since his last rework, which at this point, his last rework has actually been so long ago that a lot of people don't even remember his last rework. Ooh, but Artemis is actually getting away with so many strong picks. They somehow got the Johanna, very choice tank pickup. A lot of their comfort picks. Raynor, again, that's actually their single most played hero. Tassadar is just someone who I feel is very strong in just period, just ever since he was reworked. He's strong, very high poke damage. They did ban out the Bloodlust, Rainbow Strike Go, that is. And that's, I think the Bloodlust makes a lot of sense. They banned out the Rhaegar, which of course can do Bloodlust. Rhaegar is a hero who, I mean, already, you can also just see from the draft on the side of Artemis that they have a comp that is already, I think, could build very well for the Bloodlust. The Raynor by itself, Tassadar, if he tries to go for the Archon instead of the Black Hole, but honestly, even if he doesn't. So Mal'Ganis and Rhaegar banned out in the secondary ban phase, and the members of Rainbow Strike Go, they're now starting to have a little bit of, they're starting to get a little choked out on tanks. It's not been a huge tank choke, but I think a lot of the stronger tank picks have been taken off the board, whether through the ban phase or the picks. They're going to go with the Stitches. Stitches, oh my god, that's absolutely unbelievable. Stitches is crazy. I mean, that's not really what, like, these days I kind of look, all right, top tier of tanks, like maybe Johanna and ETC. Next tier after that, what, like Mal'Ganis and maybe Garrosh. And then after that, you really start to, like, go down, I think, in priority, where you get down to the Anubarak, Diablo, Muradin. Stitches is something completely out of left field, where that's at that point, it's not even about, like, tiers. That's more like just like a side grade with the Stitches, which also makes the Malfurion pick make a lot of sense. They don't even need to go for, oh my god, that's crazy. They don't even necessarily need to go for Gorge here to make the Stitches Malfurion work. It can just be hook into roots. All right then, but meanwhile, Leoric picked up on the other side, as well as the Anduin. Wow. So These are kind of crazy. These are some interesting drafts. Actually, what we should say is that really it's Team Rainbow Strike Go who has the interesting draft, and on the side of Artemis, if anything, I'd say they picked up a very standard draft, a very reliable draft, including their 3 most played heroes. So it's hard to say who I would favor here. I would say that if we're just going like very standard, very reliable, I do actually think Artemis probably does have the better draft, but there are definitely ways in which I think Rainbow Strike Go has a little bit of the edge. Their draft has a little bit more of the burden of execution. If they can execute it well, they're probably going to get a lot of kills, and there's still Kingleberry in that solo lane. I think with the Yrel, going to have a little bit of an advantage over the Leoric, better at controlling the Shrine and the wave with the Avenging Wrath. But let's actually get on over to the game. It's going to be game number 1 between Team Rainbow Strike Go and Artemis. On the left side, we've got Team Rainbow Strike Go. We've got Super Sticks on the Alarak. Robert will be playing as the Cassia. We've got Kingleberry on the Yrel. Silver will be playing as the Stitches, and Panda Supreme on the Malfurion. Meanwhile, our red team, it's going to be Artemis. Dark Horse will be playing as Raynor. 7 on the Anduin. Evernight, I'm just going to go with Evernight and not even say the X. It'll make things a lot easier on the Leoric. Honestly, we'll be playing as Johanna, and Ashkan as the Tassadar. So, we had someone saying, disappointed that there's no Panda. I think that's referring to the Chen from Kingleberry on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, which, I mean, on the one hand, may be a little bit surprising considering that's definitely his most played hero this season, but I think the Yrel is probably just a better hero on this map. And again, with Yrel, she can use Avenging Wrath, which I believe has a relatively short cooldown. I think it's only like 5 seconds to easily jump back and forth between the Shrine as well as the wave. First kill will be going out by Team Rainbow Strike Go. They will pick up the kill onto Anduin, played by 7. So this is a very interesting, it's a very interesting draft out of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and we'll see what they can do with it. And it's a lot rest on Silver's shoulders. He needs to be hitting hooks, and then, I mean, of course, that's really the start of it. And then his team really needs to be there to follow up. In particular, Panda Supreme with the roots. But really, it's everyone. They really need all 4 heroes in the 4-man to really complete their kills. Super Stick's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Caught out a little bit over-aggressive in the lane. He will probably not be killed, but he certainly trades out a lot of health in the process. So Siege Camp's picked up a little bit faster by Artemis. I think they really probably just have a comp that's just better for clearing camps between things like the Raynor. Comp out of Team Rainbow Strike Go, not quite as good for this purpose. Now, this is not quite a good fight. Oh, no, Silver's taking a lot of damage. He's probably just going to need to get out of here. Now, I think part of the problem with this draft that they've got here, unfortunately, the root was not there from Panda Supreme to follow up on that hook from Silver. It's really just got to be ready as soon as those hook comes in. Especially, I really can't afford to just wait until 10 for the Gorge. And if you're getting a Malfurion alongside of Stitches, you really need to be ready with those roots. Where is the Alarak as well? Alarak is actually up there supporting Kingleberry. So it's been a persistent 3v4 here between Rainbow Strike, between these two teams, between the 4-mans of these two teams. And Super Sticks potentially in a position to get rotated on yet again. What is the plan here, actually? I'm getting confused the more and more I watch this. I guess because they're not trying to 4-man the bottom. But I feel like this has mostly been, this top shrine has been controlled more often by Kingleberry than it has been by Evernight. Meanwhile, on the bottom, we are actually going to see our first kill. It's going to happen on Johanna, and it will happen off-screen as I miss it. All right, so we do have the temples picked up by the members of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but it doesn't look like we're going to see anyone go for actually the channel, as I think 7 was actually just positioned in a place where he could reliably interrupt it. Then the 2 were sent up to the top to take the shrine away from Kingleberry. Now that Kingleberry is alone here with just Leoric, he probably has... Oh, wow. Righteous Hammer was actually was actually dodged by Evernight using the Unstoppable on Wraithwalk. A little bit of anti-synergy now with the roots and the hooks. And I still also feel that I think just with 3 members, I don't think they're actually realistically going to be expecting kills unless they can really get a pull on, like on Anduin. Okay, that time we do see it, but the fend is interrupted. Robear's still going to see if he can finish the kill on 7, but he can't. Meanwhile, fight's actually still going on. Silver's still here. Honestly, no longer has Unstoppable. Silver's trying to body block him, and the root is there. Oh, man. He's trapped, and he gets killed, even though 7 finally pulls him out with the leap of faith. So, and it looks like our top lane has been pretty indecisive for the most part, but at this point, Kingleberry will have to give it up at least temporarily. He is very low on mana, so I don't think he can afford to keep this up too much longer. I don't know, and Super Styx has constantly been... It seems like Super Styx is almost never really rotating down to the bottom, so it seems like their plan is actually just a 3-man bottom. I'm not entirely sure if I like it. I almost feel that with the Alarak, if Silver can get a hook, that will be a kill onto Malfurion. If Silver can get a hook and it's rooted by Malfurion, I feel like the combination of the Alarak and the Cassia could result in a kill. I feel like it could, but Alarak is just routinely either in the middle lane. He's basically rotating through middle and top. So whatever the plan is here for Team Rainbow Strike Go, I don't feel that it's working out that well yet. The best we can say for Team Rainbow Strike Go is that they are in a position where they do have a slight lead in experience. So, okay, Super Styx is finally here. Let's see if they can make something of it. And they do also have level 10 talent to your advantage, but Super Styx will move out. So it'll continue to be a 3v4 in the bottom. Silver is trapped. He's so low in hit points. He uses a Devour just to make sure that he can get a little bit of his health regenerated and stay alive. Do you want to just check that? Yeah. I'm literally losing confidence on the names of some of these abilities, so I checked that to make sure that the Stitcher's ability that restores his health is indeed called Devour, and indeed it is. So, I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear that Artemis is winning the bottom lane slowly but surely, and especially now with Heroics out. We actually see it is interesting to me to see the Archon from Tassadar. Of course, we're seeing the Hyperion get some value, even if it's thrown onto structures. Kingleberry with a 4-man Righteous Hammer. But, oh no, Kingleberry might have went out a little bit too far. The 4-man Righteous Hammer was impressive, but he ended up getting trapped by the Force Wall. He had no mana either. And, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's not a clean start or a clean game so far from Team Rainbow Strike Go. The more traditional, stable draft out of Artemis ultimately working out a bit better, whereas this off-meta, execution-heavy draft out of Team Rainbow Strike Go just not paying off yet. And we'll see if at some point that they may be able to. Honestly, actually found himself being trapped a little bit by the friendly Tassadar Forest Wall, and it's not even going to be a Gorge, which... I mean, in most cases, I actually think that that Putrid Bile, is that even the name? Yes, it is. Man, really not having confidence, even though I'm actually right most of the time. That Putrid Bile is generally the better heroic. But I feel like with the way they're playing at this point, I would almost say, like, go Gorge and, like, take them behind a tower. Okay, Light Bomb is thrown out onto Johanna. I don't think Robert gets out of here, and indeed he does not. Meanwhile, Kingleberry, hard rotation to this bottom lane. Never expected him to come all the way down here, so now it's Super Styx taking over the laning duties. Kingleberry trying to see if he can get that channel. But instead, we are going to see bottom shrine taken back again by Artemis. Top shrine going to be taken by Artemis as well pretty soon. And so Super Six is now up here. I don't know if maybe he thinks that Alarak can do better against Leoric than Yrel could, but certainly Alarak is not as good for both controlling the wave and the shrine at the same time. Doesn't have that quick movement between them the way that Yrel does. We'll see how this works out. Okay. So Counter-Strike is used there to kind of counter the Drain Hope. Silver is here by himself at this point. So I mean, this is a tough situation where I almost feel compelled. I don't know what else to say other than the draft so far from Team Rainbow Strike Go is not quite working out yet. They can't just, like, fight Artemis head-on the way they would with a more standard draft with a more standard tank. If they're going to go for this Leoric, there needs to be a heavy focus on the hook execution and actually getting those picks. So, Dragon Knight has been picked up by Artemis. Raynor is inside of it, does manage to take down the front wall, and now he's rotating top. I mean, I guess at this point, probably worried about... I actually think rotating bottom would have been a really good idea. Rainbow Strike Go is actually losing this 3v3 fight in the bottom. Silver is going to go down any moment now, and there it is. Okay, we do have... Oh, Ashkan does finally go down. Got pulled in by the Valkyrie. Small victories for Team Rainbow Strike Go at this time. I mean, I guess, you know, it does look like Raynor is certainly getting some value here. If he finishes the fort, it's going to be a very close call. I think now, kicking out the Yrel, he'll probably finish off this fort, so there's certainly some value in that regard. But I still think probably going bottom probably would have been the greater value. The bottom lane just matters so much more on this map overall. Opens up a win condition better than the top could. Of course, there certainly is value to taking out that top fort. Ooh, Evernight going down again, so... Certainly a lot of kills onto Evernight by Team Rainbow Strike Go, and they'll try to convert that into an invade. They are down 16 talent tier advantage, but they've got... It'll be a straight-up 5v3, so they have the advantage here. Ashkan is pulled in. He's actually in such a bad position, trying to get out of here. He gets pulled in again, this time by Alarak. Does tap the fountain, but it's not enough. Evernight is back awake, or rather, you know, alive. Because those are like equivalent verbs or something. They're not even verbs, are they? I don't even know. I can't talk right now. All right, so Bruiser Camp will be picked up by Team Rainbow Strike Go. It'll start to get some value top lane. Doesn't look like they'll get the whole fort with it, but taking out the fountain is actually no small prize. That's actually pretty nice. So Team Rainbow Strike Go, as much as I have kind of talked down about how well their draft is going, they're actually leading in kills by quite a bit. They're leading in kills by quite a bit. 3 of those deaths are on Evernight. But they're still, certainly in terms of the structure war, it's going in favor of Artemis. Dark Horse in a rough position, though. He'll be lucky if he makes it out here alive, and he turns out he won't be so lucky. I was going to say, like, he's going to try to get out of there, but he'll probably just be pulled in by Super Sticks. And so far, honestly, I do like Super Sticks Alarak. I do think it's working out well. I mostly just don't feel that Rainbow Strike Go is playing their comp the way I think it needs to be played. However, at this point, though, regardless of how it needs to be played, now that they have a level advantage, they can kind of 5-man when they want to. And they're starting to win more and more fights. Let's see if maybe they can just kind of convert this. The combination of the level advantage, having player number advantage. Let's see if they can convert that into... Yeah, actually, this is looking like it's going to be a pretty quick pickup on the... Oh, 7 doesn't even attempt. I thought he was going to throw out the Divine Star to stop Stitches from getting that Dragon Knight, but he actually doesn't do it. He actually just throws it out to clear the wave. So this will be a Dragon Knight picked up by Team Rainbow Strike Go. And as much as things weren't looking great for Team Rainbow Strike Go about 5 minutes ago, suddenly things are looking really good for them. And when they get a Dragon Knight, they're taking it straight to the bottom lane, knowing how impactful this bottom lane is. Bartum is even wondering what exactly happened. It really felt like 5 minutes ago that Rainbow Strike Go was losing this game. but they got a bunch of kills. They really converted that into a bunch of value. Super Stick's getting a little bit too close to the wall, though, taking a lot of damage, so he'll have to back off. Kingleberry getting a lot of value in the top lane as well, and although, of course, that top fort isn't worth quite as much as even like a keep front wall, I think part of just what's going on with Kingleberry is getting 20 for his team. Even deciding to just move out of there. Realizing he'll let the minions do whatever damage they can. Now, with this experience lead, although Rainbow Strike Go... Although the Dragon Knight is going to expire soon, and at some point we will go back to, you know, the shrines and the need to take the shrines, with this level 20 talent tier advantage, Rainbow Strike Go can just kind of bully Artemis. They can 5-man as much as they want, especially they're at level 20. They don't really have a need to soak much more for the rest of this game. So they can 5-man, look for picks, and they'll have better capacity to get picks more so now than ever. Hook thrown out. Doesn't actually connect onto Ashcan, though. So what felt like a weak start for Team Rainbow Strike Go has suddenly really been turned very heavily into their advantage. They are going to try to disengage, though, from this Hyperion. And then they'll probably be looking for a re-engage. You know, we've got Stitches with the hook. It's only going to be a 5v4 no matter what happens. Given that Leoric's still rotating around, looking for experience wherever he can, desperately trying to get level 20 for his team. Luckily for Artemis, they aren't giving up too many heroes to the hooks. Kingleberry jumping in, though, getting some slows with the Avenging Wrath, but it still hasn't been converted into a hook just yet. Kingleberry, again, just jumping in there. Super Sticks does throw out the pull, but it doesn't connect onto 7. We've got heroes on both sides pretty low. First kill actually happens onto Panda Supreme, but it's traded out for a kill onto Ashcan. 2 kills, 3 kills in favor of Team Rainbow Strike Go. And man, this is absolutely crazy, because honestly, they might just be able to win this game right here, and I think they're just going to do it. Got to be careful, though, those stunning rocks. Yeah, I mean, this is actually kind of mind-blowing. I feel like I spent so much of the early game talking about how, like, yeah, things just not working out for Team Rainbow Strike Go. And I don't even really remember what the point was where this game really turned around for them. I'm not sure what caused it. But they just... Yeah, I mean, this is it. That's game number 1 going over to Team Rainbow Strike Go. So they pull it out in the end, but... You know, if I'm honest, like, they win, and, you know, at the end of the day, we can also say, like, a win's a win, but it definitely was not a clean win. It was not a clean win. At some point, they very much ran away with it, but it was not a clean win, in my opinion, and there was a period when they struggled. So if they do end up taking the series, I'm definitely going to ask them a little bit more about what was kind of going on with their Stitches composition, and we'll see if it also makes an appearance for the rest of this series. So 15 kills to 5 in the end. So in the end, it doesn't even look like an even game. 15 kills to 5. Level 20 not even reached by Artemis. And just trying to see if we have any interesting talents. Imprisoning Light, man. That's the Valkyrie upgrade. I never even knew what that was called. Second helping, Life Bloom. Leoric going for the auto attack build. Yeah, I can very much see that against the Urel. And Tassadar actually went for Psionic Storm build. Sentence out of me, and I apologize. But you know what I don't apologize for? This draft that's coming up right now. Here it is. Our Game 2 draft. So I wonder if we will see any... any bans. What am I even doing right now with my life? I wonder if we will see any respect bans based on what happened in the last game. Although, one of the interesting things with Rainbow Strike Go and with how dominant they've been this season is that when I look through at the heroes that they've picked, it looks like they've kind of been flexing a little bit in general. And I don't say flexing just in the respect of people being flexible. I talk about them playing heroes that might indicate that they haven't always been playing seriously. This season, Team Rainbow Strike Go has played the Lost Vikings, Nova, Butcher, Murky. What else? Alright, I think those are probably all the meme picks. They played Abathur. I wouldn't say Abathur's a meme pick, but I would say it's also just something so much in left field where I'm not entirely sure if that's even something that they're good at. But regardless, let's stay focused on the draft at hand. Greymane banned again, so that's the focus on Super Sticks right there. He's definitely the Greymane player on Team Rainbow Strike Go. And we're going to see the Rhaegar banned out yet again. Rhaegar is... I'm looking for a Rhaegar pick on the side of Rainbow Strike Go. So probably gonna. My guess is gonna be a first pick Johanna. I would honestly be. Yeah, I would honestly have been extremely surprised if that was not a first pick Johanna. Both of these teams have played that hero like almost 10 times each. And Artemis definitely the less flexible of the two teams in terms of their tank picks. But I was trying to look for it though. Rhaegar, yeah, Team Rainbow Strike Go plays Rhaegar, and it's pretty meta at the moment, so it makes sense.
Wait is over.
All right, then. Deckard picked up by Panda Supreme. Cassia picked up by Robert. I gotta say, I wasn't totally sold on the Cassia from Robert last game. And of course, I'm saying this when they won the game, so maybe until he loses, I shouldn't say that. The Deckard pick, though, I'm super sold on that. Deckard, because you know why? I got 2 words. Ruby value. That's it. Actually, that's not just it. I also think the Stay a While and Listen is actually just such a good heroic. There have been a few series recently where I've just seen the massive utility out of that heroic. It's been great for counter engage, as I've seen it in some other series. And then of course you can also just use it more aggressively, use it to open an engagement and just do a combo off of it. So again, a lot of high priority picks on the side of Artemis. Doesn't seem too much to me like Rainbow Strike Go actually has a super hard focus on a lot of the priority picks from Artemis. It seems like they're willing to let a lot of Artemis's comfort picks through. The Stitches again? Oh my god. Wow, they're going to do it again. Alright, to be fair, I think... I actually feel like they can probably... I don't know. This is really rough. Like, at this point, I start to wonder if they're just kind of... flexing around and not entirely being respectful. I mean, yes, they won with it, but I feel like their comp is not even as good with the Stitches anymore as it was before. Like, I mean, technically, yes, you can do Scroll of Sealing as a follow-up to Stitch's hook, but that's way harder to execute than Malfurion Root. Hanzo, also something that I don't feel Punish It is as good of a follow-up onto the Stitches as an Alarak is. I mean, not that it can't work. It can. But it doesn't even seem as well built around the Stitches as it was before, and they're going with it again. And I would say I'm definitely expecting it to be Putrid Bile again. On this map, I think Putrid Bile does make more sense. Zool going to be the final pickup for Kingleberry. Meanwhile, I feel like Artemis, they once again went for they went for a lot of the same picks. In fact, I think the only thing that was different was the Ana from 7. They literally went for the exact same draft, except Anduin was banned out. So yeah, they got the Ana since Anduin was banned out. Actually, NyQuil friend, in the last season of NGS, the season where they didn't do so well, they actually flexed roles where Robert was playing solo lane and Kingleberry was playing range, which could be maybe part of the reason why their last season of NGS wasn't so great. Who knows, especially since they actually switched away. They didn't continue with that role swap. But it's not time to talk about role swaps anymore. It's time to get into our game. All right, then game number 2. We've got the Stitches comp yet again from Team Rainbow Strike Go. I don't know what they're doing, but knowing them, honestly, they might just win anyway. Super Stick's going to be on the Hanzo. Also going with the W build. I like to see it. Silver will be on the Stitches again. Kingleberry playing as the Zool. Robert will be playing as Cassia yet again. And Panda Supreme on the Deckard. Meanwhile, on the other side, Artemis looking to see what they can do to actually bring this series back. Evernight is going to be on the Leoric again. Seven will be playing as Ana. Honestly, on the Johanna. Dark Horse will be playing as the Rainer. And finally, it's going to be Ashkan yet again on that Tassadar. So, man, Charged Strike's actually really throwing me off with the new icon for it. I very much remember the old icon for Charged Strikes on the old Cassia, and I honestly kind of miss it. I almost wish they never changed it. All right, some quests on both sides. Whoa, we've even got some veteran marksman for Rainer. Rainer looking for those dings. Oh, this time the hook. Oh, but the combination of hook into Bone Prison is actually a fantastic one, and that one's even easier to execute than hook into Malfurion route. I should have actually thought of that. Now, the only problem with that, though, is that for the most part, we should be seeing Zool in the solo lane. So we can't really assist as much with those hook kills in the 4-man the way a Malfurion would. And it almost doesn't even seem like they're fully playing a 4-man. Panda Supreme looking to go over here, looking to see if he can start the turret. Dark Horse getting so low. Oh, Robert trying to finish him off with one more Lightning Fury, Thunderstrike, whatever it's called. I got to check it again because I've been not sure on a lot of these, but I actually can't click on him now because he's dead. I'll check it again. Thunderstroke, right? Thunderstroke. Or is it... Thunderstrike is a Murden talent. I'm going to check it soon. What is it? What is it? Come on. Oh, I did that stuff. It is... No. Lightning Fury. Oh my god. I'm not there at all. End the stream. Root goes onto Johanna, who of course will just self-cleanse it. But man, Dark Horse really caught in such a bad position, will be finished off by Super Sticks. That's right, Nyquil friend. Actually, you know, I'm not even 100% sure if they did the role swap for the whole season, but they definitely at least did it for a few games. Possibly the whole season. You'd have to actually ask them. But let's go back to this game. I mean, even the lane splitting and rotations even seems pretty odd to me from Team Rainbow Strike Go. But, you know, I've been questioning Rainbow Strike Go for much of this series, and they're just winning anyway. Standard build out from Hanzo. Otherwise, wait a minute. Isn't Ruby at... Yeah, Ruby's at 4. We're not going to see any Ruby value. That's super disappointing. No Ruby value. Yeah, Silver finding himself by himself. Although, I mean, it's, of course, just they're capturing this camp. I don't know if they need both of their DPS players here to capture the camp, but Panda Supreme will be moving out. Panda Supreme probably looking to set up potions on the objective. Alright, so we won't see the Ruby value, but, I mean, I guess, of course, there's just the traditional Potion of Shielding value, which was, of course, the typical talent at that tier before Ruby was buffed a bit. And in some ways, that can work out well in a sustained fight as well. Since every time they pick up a potion, any hero picks up a potion, they'll be able to just, you know, just have a little bit more damage resistance, have a little bit more health to work with. Siege camps picked up by both sides, but will be cleared up by both sides as well. As we do see at the moment, Artemis does have the control of the beacon. Kingleberry trying to do something about that, but he can't do too much about it, as he will now start to get slowed and drained by Evernight. Kingleberry does throw the root yet again onto Johanna, who will, of course, just self-cleanse it. So that will just be the cooldowns kind of traded. All right, just straight up a 5-on-5 fight. Item advantage in favor of Artemis. Hook was on to Ashkan, but now Kingleberry is the one who's so low. He's probably going to go down there. He just barely gets a potion in time from Panda Supreme, so he will be able to stay alive. He's looking for a tap so that they can re-engage, but now it's Super Sticks, who's so low, actually got hit by the penetrating round after out of his natural agility, but didn't die. The sustained fights do seem to be favoring the members of Artemis at this time. Another hook. This one's onto Honestly. Does he have... Oh, my God. The burst damage, or well, just the damage in general coming out of Ashkan does result in a kill finally onto Super Sticks. Yeah, I mean, these sustained fights seeming to favor Artemis. In this case, I would say I feel like part of that has to go... I feel like part of that honestly has to go not so much to the healing, but to the tanks. That I feel like Johanna is able to be a little bit more disruptive in those engagements, getting those condemns, grouping them together, helping Tassadar apply all that damage, going for a Psionic Storm build, even with Psionic Echo, for a lot of that area of effect damage. So I definitely think there's some synergy there between the Johanna and the Tassadar, and I think that's working out in their favor. Whereas, I mean, what does the Stitches do? He hooks in a target. The target gets hooked in. But unless there's a lot of really good follow-up to that, like a very well-executed combo, I don't think it actually works out that well for them. And in just straight-up team fights, I think the Stitches is not quite as good as... I mean, it's not as good as the Johanna. Like, why am I even second-guessing it? So again, if they want to do something with the Stitches, they need to try to find some picks somewhere. Could be in the lane. Could just be that they win the game anyway, like they did last time. For whatever reason. It is a promising start for Artemis, but honestly, it was a promising start for them last game. And then Team Rainbow Strike Go just kind of mysteriously won. They just kind of did it. Yo, are we sub-done? Oh, man, I'm looking at the screen talking about sub-done. We've got such a big team fight going on. Heroics are in here. Big, big Lornado. No stay a while and listen. Dark Horse is so low, and he will be killed. Oh, my God. Health bars are going so low, but Silver's so tanky on that Stitches. If there's one thing Stitches is good at, it's having a very big health bar. X-Evernight. I actually called him X-Evernight, trying to trade out the kills onto Super Sticks, but that'll be 4 kills in favor of Team Rainbow Strike Go. So there we go. Suddenly Team Rainbow Strike Go just winning. Also kind of surprising to see the Lornado. How quaint. Wow, Lornado. When was Lornado changed to 30-second cooldown? I swear it used to be 40. I'm probably not even I'm probably not even wrong. But I feel like these days I see like stay a while and listen so much, and I feel like there are also so many times when it gets so much value. But that was a good Lornado, and man, you can just throw out Lornados left and right now. 30-second cooldown? All right, so let's take a look at some of our heroics. We've got Valkyrie again. Dragon's Arrow, no surprise there. Poison Nova, Putrid Bile. It's weird. A lot of the heroics, a lot of just the stuff, not even just the heroics, but a lot of just the things on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go seem to be built around pull people into you. Pull people into you. You've got the Lornado. You've got the Valkyrie. You've got the hook. We've got another hook. There's the Valkyrie trying to keep Dark Horse in there, but Dark Horse was hit by a Dragon's Arrow, but it wasn't even a full duration Dragon Arrow. Dark Horse still pretty low. He's being chased after by Silver. Silver can't make it happen. Meanwhile, Super Sticks now trapped. He'll be able to jump on out of there. The team fight continues. Evernight is the one who's really low and close to dying. We're even going to see the Hyperion committed kind of late. I don't know if I like the Hyperion there. Honestly, I think he'll get out of there. And now the Root goes on to Tassadar, and it will be an inconclusive fight in the end, unless it honestly goes back in with not much health and no Iron Skin. Dark Horse does get rooted right in front of his gate. Can he be finished off? And indeed he will. I think he was even behind the gate by then, but kills were kind of traded out. Zool being out of there as well. Man, this is honestly such a strange game. And I mean, Rainbow Strike Go, I've definitely seen a lot of things that they've done in the past. This is definitely a new look for Rainbow Strike Go that I have not seen before. This Stitches focus. In the past, I've seen them have a lot of focus on stun like CC chain combos with ETC, with Varian. I haven't really seen the Stitches play for them if I'm completely honest here, I'm also still not sold on it yet, because I don't even really feel that they're playing it too much in the sense of really going for picks and really just doing blow-up combos. Instead, it's very brawly and not the cleanest. It's not clean. It's not clean. It's working for them, but in my opinion, it's not clean. All right, Team Rainbow Strike Go. They are looking for this shrine, or rather, this support camp. Kingleberry getting a little bit low. Honestly, he's trying to control that objective, but I think he's out of health. I don't even think he has Iron Skin anymore, and he will just go down. But so many members of Team Rainbow Strike Go are solo, and that'll be 3 kills in favor of Artemis. Dark Horse trying to see if he can finish off Super Sticks, but eventually he does need to back off from the tower. Another Hyperion is committed, as we still actually have a beacon going on. I totally forgot about that as our teams were focused on the support camp. So wait, just to check. Are we... I'm trying to look. Oh, we're sub-done. We are indeed sub-done. All right, Dark Horse getting a little bit more value here. Kind of prepping the lane. He probably could have gotten just a little bit more value, hit that fort with a few more auto attacks, but decided to play safe. Didn't have vision of the members of Team Rainbow Strike Go, who will just barely get a chance to contest this objective. Man, Kingleberry put his foot on that when it was like 98, 99%. And now they've managed to gain positional advantage, trying to go for hooks. Silver wants to pull someone in, but he doesn't get it. So Heroics will be back online for Team Rainbow Strike Go sooner, but of course, it is Artemis who does have the time to spare, so we are going to see some soak just picked up by Evernight, making sure that they get to level 16. Both teams going to get to level 16 at some point, probably going to want to rejoin his team, as we do see that certainly the beacons are getting very close. We'll just come down to one more team fight. Level 16 actually not there just yet for Rainbow Strike Go, but they finally get it. Level 16 is going to be locked in. It's the route onto Tassadar. Dragon's Arrow will go in. I think that was a medium length Dragon Arrow. Ashkan solo. He's trying to get out of here. And indeed, it looks like he will. He'll be able to get a tap too. Did he get a tap? I can't even tell. And the first kill does go out by Team Rainbow Strike Go. It will be the kill onto Raynor. So I think this will most likely, unless I don't think the re-engage is here for Artemis. Okay, so that will be the next Triglav Protector picked up by the members of Team Rainbow Strike Go.
Blue team has taken control of our protector.
And they're going to drive this all the way down to bottom lane. Robert finally does get into the gunner's seat, as they do want to just prep the bottom lane for the next objective. Of course, with that second Triglav Protector, usually the value play out of it is that you want to get as much value as you can in the bottom lane to prepare for the last Triglav Protector. Well, not the last one, the third one, which sometimes can be the last. But I'm not trying to spoil anything. I swear I'm not looking at my script. All right, so yeah, they can. I'm pretty sure that they finish off the fort here. They will knock Raynor away. That does disrupt some of the damage that going out into that Protector. And I think that's just about all the value that they want and that they need. And now it's just a matter of here, do they safely disengage, which I think they do. Yeah, they safely disengage. At this point, I don't even know if it's... Oh, that way. Were they dancing in the Protector? I don't even know. Like, I wasn't even that focused on the Protector, but is that a Protector dance? I was going to say they might as well just get out of the Protector. Super Sticks in a bad position. Luckily, he does have his Shamata privilege ready to get him out of there alive, to forgive his bad positioning.
My team will begin repairs.
I'm even going to look back at the screen with that time delay to see, is that a Triglav? That's a Protector dancing, isn't it? Ooh, all right. Hook does happen, but it's just onto Johanna. There was a follow-up route, but she will just Iron Skin out of there. Man, I never even knew that the Protector could dance. I barely remember that heroes can dance. Another hook went out. No luck there. Level 20 is going to come in, obviously, before Team Rainbow Strike goes. There will definitely be a period of time where they will have level 20 talent tier advantage. And members of Artemis going to contest this probably because they just see Kingleberry in this bottom lane. Of course, that's going to be some lane pressure, getting some keep front wall damage there. But it's definitely a 5v4 here, and I don't think the rotation by Kingleberry will be in time. Okay, Silver is hooked by Dark Horse. No, just kidding. Other way around. Dark Horse was hooked by Silver. But not to too much effect.
Blue team has destroyed the turret.
All right, then. So, Siege Camp will be cleared out by Artemis, as we do see Team Rainbow Strike go, possibly looking for a little bit more value in the middle lane, but we will see... I mean, I guess this is just at the time them trying to use their 20 talent tier advantage in their favor, pushing as 5. Even Artemis is trying to defend as 5. And that's actually some decent value against that middle fort. Of course, doesn't kill it entirely, but I mean, it's down to like a nice 30-ish%. We see Silver maybe look for another hook. I don't know. I mean, it's strange positioning for him. Like, if he's going for that positioning, I would think he's looking for some kind of a hook. But as we can see on the map, most of the members of Artemis not really in that position where he was kind of looking. Alright, so we will see that fort taken down, but we will also see level 20s coming in for the members of Artemis pretty much just in time for this next objective. And, well, at this time, I think we're just going to be really awaiting for another 5-on-5 fight. But item advantage probably in favor of... Well, oh, there's a healing camp still on the side of Artemis. And this is something... Oh, they've got a healing camp and a single turret. So, healing camp and a turret against the double turret. No, the triple turret. Oh, man. That's a lot of turrets. That's a lot of damage. Here's the fight. Hyperion is committed. Honestly is up in the front. So is Evernight. Evernight will get rooted. No, he won't, because he will just cleanse it out with Leoric. As we now see the Lornado going in. Honestly is pretty far up. He does get stunned. Low on hit points. Don't know if he does have another Iron Skin. Does he have an indestructible? No, he doesn't. No indestructible for him. Instead, he will be destructed. And it will be another team fight victory for the members of Rainbow Strike Go. And they'll just get another kill. Ashkan is absolutely going to be gone. I was going to look for a second, and I wanted to see, do we have a Valkyrie ready to try to make it 5 kills? Oh, man, this is a brutal play. And honestly, at this point, I think there's a decent chance that we see this game ended in about the next 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, the 4-man right here from Rainbow is going to finish off this fort probably before the Protector even gets here. And then they'll have a full health Protector up against the core. Not all the respawns will have come in by then. Who's going to go inside the Protector? Will be Robert. I don't know. I think this is probably going to be a quick end to this series. Was a more even series last time. Team Rainbow Strike Go winning their previous series against Artemis 2-1. But unless we see an absolutely heroic defense out of Artemis, this is going to be a pretty quick 2-1 victory in favor of Rainbow. So kill goes on to Raynor, and that will be the core finished off. So Team Rainbow Strike Go does take it in the end. In, yeah, actually pretty convincing fashion, even with what is, in my mind, a little bit of a kind of confusing and off-meta draft. So, well, that's it. Wow. I almost didn't even realize we're at this match summary screen so soon. I didn't even have my overlays changed correctly. So, that's it. 16-7 in kills again. And yet again, there was a time when it was looking promising for Artemis early on in the game. Happened in both games where things were looking promising at first, but somehow in the end, just Rainbow takes it. So just taking a look. This time we did have Artemis getting to level 20, so we do see some of their level 20 talents picked up. Of course, Johanna did have the Blinded by the Light instead of either Indestructible or Radiating Faith, as I do know Radiating Faith is, of course, what many people favor. But let's see. Oh, wow. And this Leoric level 20 as well. It's an interesting one, getting the Hardened Bones rather than the Buried Alive. As we see our continued Tassadar discussion in chat about how... Hello, Robert.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How's it going for you? After that win, of course. Hello? You still there? Don't know what happened. He was here with me just a second ago. He was talking to me. I can't hear him anymore. He's in the channel. Because I certainly got some questions to ask him. I don't know. Something might have happened. He's not answering me in Discord. He's not answering me in game. Is Robert okay? Yeah, that's the interview. How's it going, man? All right. What happens if I click on robert.exe? It's actually giving me a clickable link from Canny. I did get a message from Silver, another member of Rainbow Strike Go, that told me that Robert's computer actually crashed. So that he'll be back with me soon. Change lobby. I'll try it. I'm in lobby 2 now. We'll see if that helps. Maybe that other lobby is cursed. But I do want to ask, I'll just, as we're waiting, I'll just preview what's on my mind. I want to ask him a little bit about the drafting of Rainbow Strike Go. I want to ask him about the fact that they're in a different division than they were before. Maybe a little bit about their role swaps too. Robert.exe. Yeah, doesn't really take me anything when I get to robert.exe, but thank you guys for subscribing with the Twitch Prime. All right, then. So how are you guys doing tonight? We are at our last series tonight. I don't know, although I'm saying it's our last series, it's certainly our last series being cast. But when I'm looking... Are you back? Or
yeah, that was freakish timing. I'm just like, well, it happened after the game.
Yeah. Well, if anything, that's the perfect timing. You don't want to happen happening in the middle of the game.
True.
So
very true.
What I was asking you right before you disappeared was just how are you feeling after that series victory?
Super excited, man. Super excited. It was a good win for us tonight. Really good team, and we performed pretty well. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get going, but we found our gear in the first game, so we're super excited about it.
All right. And so it puts you at a nice 11-0 record right now. And I've definitely got some questions to ask you guys since I know a little bit about your team, since I've played against you in the past. I've also just seen you guys in casting you guys. I want to know about, how do you guys feel about this season you were put in Division D? You've been in Div C as well as Div 3 of Heroes Lounge in the past. How did you guys feel about that move to Div D, and how does that feel actually playing in it?
We honestly were bummed, really. I think it's just we kind of we lost in the playoffs in Heroes Lounge, and we didn't make it past the group stage. And
you guys had a rough there. You guys had the group of death.
We had a pretty, actually none of our D3 teams made it. It was crazy. Like the D4 teams are great. Um, like, and obviously maybe it should have been in our division. I don't even know, but it was kind of nuts. And yeah, we were pretty bummed about that. And then that carried over into NGS. And honestly, we were bummed, because we played Division C a couple seasons before. Last season we did terrible though. So we were the bottom three, and that's probably what happened, really. So we even asked just to make sure. It's like, hey, should we be in this one? And they're
Hmm.
probably thinking is like, yeah, you guys suck so bad last season. So we're just like, it's like, well, how do we make this positive, right? It's so we've been kind of working on some things. We've been working on our comms, working on our group dynamic, our picks, work with our synergy, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Like, we know we have the experience and we played at a higher level, and this level's actually really good too. And we've been eyeing some teams on the East Coast, and they're tearing it up over there too. Um, so we've got some good, healthy competition. But yeah, we were bummed. Just a long-winded way to answer your question.
And I guess one of the ways in which you kind of turn that into a positive, kind of like Bancho before you, where they were put in Div D last season, which is you just crushed the division.
Oh, is that what happened? Is that what they did last season?
Yeah, they were Div D last season, and they just ended up
Yeah.
crushing it, which is kind of what you're doing right now too.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those in between things because I was eyeing some of the people in Div C, and some of the guys that we were, barely just beating. Some of them were kind of at the bottom, so it's kind of in this weird area where they're just going to keep bouncing back and forth, I think. So I mean, I guess it's just us, and I mean, we're just taking it for what it is, and definitely trying to win every single game, but definitely stretching ourselves too, for sure. Like stretching ourselves a lot this season.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we're focusing it.
And then I think another thing to consider outside of just, like how you feel as a team and what NGS's decision is, now that they actually had an extra division with Div E, things might have just been
Yeah,
spread out a little bit more and they needed to fill out the divisions.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it was really cool the way they did it though, because they split East and West, and I don't
right.
remember them doing that in the past. Did they? I don't know if they did.
Last
Or no,
season,
no, they did.
Div
They
D
did, but
would definitely
they
had East and West
but
last season.
yeah, but I did notice that some of the East Coast teams were fit into the West Coast team or Coast side to fill it out.
Hmm.
I noticed, like when I was trying to
That is
schedule
strange.
something. Yeah,
Maybe,
so I think they just said, we're just gonna, West is on West, East is on East, and we'll just see what happens.
or
And
maybe they asked if, like, are you guys okay
maybe,
being on one
maybe,
side? I know I live on the West Coast, but in practice, I've
yeah,
actually had a better time playing with East Coast teams because scheduling wise, it usually works out better for me to play earlier. But
hmm
to move on from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about like kind of your drafting, because when I've cast you in the past, and also when I've played against you in the past, you had more of a focus that was more on like stun blow up comps, like Taunt Varian with like Greymane, who's that Jaina, things like that, and you went for drafts today that were honestly very strange, and of course you won on it. I will tell you that in my opinion, it didn't look very clean. You made it work anyway, but can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on with your current drafting style? Like, is this just something you're working on? What do you have to say about that?
you pretty much said it, and we also talked about it with the question before. We're definitely stretching ourselves, so that's kind of what that is. It's like, well, the instincts to win is there. So the macro play, the timings, that's still there, even though we were game two, were completely discombobulated for sure. Like we're like, I don't know who's the chicken, I don't know whose head cut off, probably mine, but definitely running around more than we normally do. Probably could insert some wacky like background music or something watching the replay, but yeah, definitely stretching ourselves. I mean, just to give you an idea how much we're stretching, we're at like 57 characters played this season.
And how about this? I want to
So,
know about the stitches in particular. Why
oh
that
yeah,
tonight?
it just kind of fit. We knew going in kind of their makeup to some degree with a couple variations. Um, we kind of had an idea of what we were going to play against, at least three or four of those picks. And I don't know. I think in the moment it was kind of like, well, what do we got left? And it's like, well, let's just try this.
I mean,
you
Stitches
know?
is one of the tanks that I often forget that he even exists.
I know he doesn't get a lot of love. Here's what's interesting, and we've been on both sides of Stitches. Like Stitches is one of those guys. Like when you're on, you're on. It's kind of like you just kind of get rolling. But seriously, like if Stitches is alive late game and you just get one pick, and even if that's the only pick you get all game, that could be like the game, really. So it's kind of one of those feast or famine type characters. But it worked well enough for us to want to do it again in game two. So we just kind of went with it.
All right, very good. And I want to talk a little bit about roles because I know over time you guys have had some roles change a little bit, and I especially think of this because when I was playing against you guys in Season of Heroes Lounge, our captain, Nyquil friend, you might know him, he would often
Yeah,
talk about how much he respects Kingleberry in that solo lane role, and of course that was very intimidating for me playing the solo lane at that time. And then I noticed you even for one season of NGS, at least for some of it, he was not playing solo lane. Now it seems like he's back in the solo lane. I've also seen some role switching, I think, in the tank position between probably you and Silver. Where are you guys at in terms of your role switching and kind of what has been the process of that?
you know, it's always interesting with the group that we have. So like if you dig a little bit, our team is a little bit different from last season NGS to this season, but it's a very familiar team from our Heroes Lounge to this season. So every time we have a new dynamic of five, and it's happened a couple times to us, we always try to say, okay, what's going to be the most effective for what we got. And last season I was tanking, and well, we got bumped down a division, so that didn't go so well for us. But but yeah, we're always just trying to, and it's interesting. Do you have you played you personally, King Andrew? Have you played like any other positions outside of just the solo lane in competitive play, or
At some point, I've actually played all four positions to different
okay,
levels of success for each. Primary
like
solo lane is definitely the one that I played the most though, and to in the at the highest levels.
yeah, it's kind of one of those things where we're kind of experimenting, trying to make things work, and then sometimes it goes in our favor, sometimes not. But just having the perspective of like doing one of those positions, like a whole season as an example, and then you're like thinking like, man, why does that guy not do that position the way that I want him to play it, right? And then you kind of flip things up, and you're like, oh, this is why this is happening the way it is, and this is why it's as hard as it is. So, and if
Mm.
anything, those role swaps in the past, if anything, it just gives all of our individual players perspective.
I
So
like that answer a lot. I like that answer a lot.
yeah, and it kind of cuts down a lot of on, like when you have that angst, and when especially when tensions are high and people lose, and people tend to kind of like say, well, this happened, and so there's like a couple guys trying to keep the peace type thing. I mean, that's no different than our group, but I think the thing is that through all these role swaps and playing with the same group of guys for the most part, and just doing those transitions, we have a new like respect for what they do, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is why number one, the tank can't engage and defend at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's always
Like,
been that's always one of the tough balances for the tank, and it's definitely something that goes like, especially when you play ranked, and
mhm.
and you're gonna have like a lot of tanks will like just jump forward and like complain about
Yeah,
like why are you focusing the other tank when they're just jumping forward because they're not peeling
yeah,
for the team.
yeah.
It's a hard
There's like
balance.
Diablo trying to 1v5 the team, like trying to figure out where like everyone else is. Yeah, yeah, we've all been there for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, Storm League's a whole nother thing when you're doing solo queue. But yeah, we've actually switched roles around a lot. It's been a huge eye-opening experience and a newfound respect just to what everyone else does. So it's helped out in our benefit. I mean, obviously last season it was a lot of pain going through that season, but we finished it out and stuck it out, and I feel like we're better for it overall looking
Did you guys
back.
actually like? I only watched a few of your matches, but did you have Kingleberry playing DPS for that whole season?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
For the most part, I think up until the very end, we started switching it around because we had some people like the regulars couldn't make it, and we had to like switch some things around. But for the most part, I mean that was kind of our game plan last season. I was going to tank, Silver was going to damage, Kingo was going to damage. I think we had Killer Fry in that team. He was going to soul lane. We had Howland who was healing, and it was tough. Like not only tough because of the five, but we just didn't get as much repetition with that group as we needed to.
Mm.
And obviously, we're just showing up for games. We're only going to do so well. So that was a lot of our downfall last season for sure on that. But looking back, better, bigger, stronger. looking forward.
Yeah, I definitely like that whole idea about perspective. I think that's something like I personally probably had that a lot in HOTS because I've always been like the one to flex. Like if you're
Mhm.
in a ranked game and three people are highlighting damage, I'm probably going to be the one to switch off. I experience it
Yeah.
more in Overwatch, which is a game I'm not experienced on. So when I'm playing tank in Overwatch, I'm just constantly thinking like, man, how come the DPS players aren't do damage? So I
Yeah.
kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you for sure, for
All
sure.
right then.
Yeah, and it's a good advice if you guys ever think about it. If there's anyone out there listening, it's painful, but it's very eye opening, and it's helped us a ton. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Just going to move it forward to, we're going to start to wrap it up. Just any
Sure,
last
sure.
comments or shout outs before we do wrap up this interview and finish up for the night.
Oh no, just a few shout outs. Number one, dude, thanks for casting. I told you before
You're
the
welcome.
game, I'm a huge fan of your work.
Thank you.
I love watching your HOTS replays and just kind of the insight, do your energy that you bring, dude. So just love it, absolutely love it.
Thank
Number
you.
one, thanks for that. Number two, thanks for the other team. Artemis, you guys played really well. We just happened to be on our A game tonight, and everything was clicking for us. But we definitely researched you very, very well. I think that was very mental for me, anyway. So thanks for coming out and representing. Huge shout out to our team just for putting in the work every week. We all have to balance our lives and real life and relationships, and it always can be kind of challenging. But I appreciate you guys doing that every week. And for the people watching, we got like a handful of people out there that are watching our games and rooting for us. Appreciate you guys coming out as well. And last shout out just to the guys just being out there for one reason or another. 2020 is such a freaking weird year for
What
so
a
many
year.
different reasons. Yeah. I mean, if it's not just what's going on with, recent events and just social stuff, and holy crap, I can't believe that there's still people that think the way they do. And I'm just like, what in the world? Anyway, I'm not even get on that. And then really with just staying safe and healthy. And that means more than just the COVID-19 now. Just be out there, be respectful towards each other people. It's crazy world out there. But that's pretty much it, man.
All right. Thank you, Robert. I think that is it for me as well. So just going to say thank you and have a good night.
All right, you as well. Thanks again, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right, then.